Hello friends and welcome back to Enterprise Architecture. Now, last episode we finally got diamonds and emeralds unlocked and we're looking pretty good. We have a whole bunch of them now. That means that we are now ready to move on to the next set of quests in this pack, which is playing with the Mechanism mod and unlocking everything that we need for Mechanism. There's another one of my absolute favorite mods. I love that it's in this pack, which makes sense. It's a tech pack. So, with no further ado, let's dive right in. Here we are on the Mechanism quest set. First things first, we're going to have to unlock Osmium, and after we get the Osmium unlocked, we're going to go ahead and set up a miner for that, per usual. And with that, we are then going to move on to the research papers to unlock the Mechanism mod itself. Then we're going to move on to basically the same sort of things that we already did with thermal. We're going to do a Metallurgic Infuser, and that gives us our alloys. We're going to do a Crusher so that we can pulverize stuff. And of course, we are going to do an Osmium Compressor as well. So first up, let's go ahead and make our Osmium Research Papers book. Now, I made a bunch of Elite Techium in preparation for this because I knew that we were going to need it to unlock everything. So we're going to go ahead and submit that, and that gives us our Osmium. Now, to get the Osmium fragments, we are going to do the same thing we always do here, which is take our colored stone, put it down, and break it with our Prospector's pick. And that's going to get our fragments here. So we're still using the same Prospector's pick that we started this series with. I'm surprised. I mean, we don't use it that often, but still, you would have thought by now we would have wore through it, but I guess not. So with those pieces, we can then take them and wrap them around a set of stone, 36 pieces per usual, and turn that into our Osmium Ore. And actually, it looks like because I shift-clicked that, I got more than I bargained for. So we're going to take this and put it into the frame that I'd set up as well in preparation here. We're going to be using our Tier 8 support frames using the emeralds that we had just unlocked at the end of the last episode. And just put down our Osmium inside of this frame. So again, same thing that we do each episode when we're unlocking new ores. This is just going to be a 3x3x4 cube, like so. On top of that, we once again are going to want to put down our miner, and that should turn green. There we go, or the red dot should disappear, I should say. We're going to put a oak drawer on top of that, and that's going to get our osmium. We lock that up tight, and now we set our import cable on top of it. Again, if you've watched the last couple of episodes, this is exactly the same setup that we did in those, and we connect it into our simple storage network like so. So now we're getting osmium ore into that network. All that remains to do is to start processing the ore. And what usage do we have here? Yeah, jumbo furnace smelting is pretty much the only thing we can use unless we unlock the immersive engineering crusher. We have not done that, however. We have it unlocked, but we haven't built one yet. So let's go ahead and cook this down in our jumbo furnace, and hopefully that'll be enough at least to unlock our osmium. So let's grab that. There we go. That completes that quest. Let's go ahead and check those off real quick from our list. So we've got that, and we've got that for our tech box. Now, to make our next research papers for Mechanism, we need a whole bunch of osmium. So basically 4 times 9, 36 pieces of osmium. That's going to be a lot, and we are not quite prepared for that yet. All right, I changed my mind. It's taking just as long, basically, to wait for all of that ore to come in as it would to just go ahead and build an immersive engineering crusher. So we're just gonna do this. So let's go ahead and set this pattern up first, if I can keep in my little goldfish brain how we do that. So let's come over one here from this. Maybe let's go over a couple, actually. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of space here. So that's that row, and then there's just 2 more here, and then the rest of this should be our steel scaffolding. 3, 1, and 1, like so. Is fences all around the middle here, and 1 redstone engineering block on the corner. So let's go ahead and put the redstone engineering block here, and then grab up our fences. We're going to need 8 of those around this. There we go. On top of that, we then put our 9, oh, this is getting all wobbly, 9 of our hoppers. So those just go here. Ah, there we go. I just randomly clicked on things until it started working. I think that maybe this is the front. I think that's what they were trying to tell me, and I was unable to understand. So now all we have to do is connect our cable up for the power on top here. So let's go into our satchel and grab up our cables. Wrong satchel. There we go. Wire connectors. This will go here. And if I'm very, very lucky, I can just go ahead and connect this up to our existing network and it won't die. That's what I'm really hoping, that this won't just explode. Okay, I didn't see anything burn, so apparently that sort of magically worked. And now all we have to do is give it some ingredients. The actual inputs go on top. We just toss them in the top, or we can use a dropper. And then the outputs are going to come and go into a chest that we can set over here. So if I climb back up here on top of this, careful not to fall in, I can just throw my osmium onto the top of it, and that should produce osmium dust very quickly. There we go. And this osmium dust, I think if I put into the smelter, it should immediately turn into our osmium ingots. So I'm going to go and grab up whatever's in here, and you can see, yeah, 114. It would have taken us easily just as long to get all of that back out, and I think we need even more than 111 to finish out making the ingots that we need here. So I'm just going to drop all of these on top, and it'll process these as well. Alright, so we finally have more than just 36 osmium ingots. That's the magic number that we were waiting on. So we can make our 4 osmium blocks. Now we can take those along with more research papers. Oh, looks like we're going to have to make another set of research papers, just like this, and put that in the middle here. These go on the corners, and then our elite techium that we have left over makes the book. With that, we should now be able to unlock the research here for Mekanism, and that quest is completed. Okay. So now we can start making all of the Mekanism machines. Now the big question is, can we now start processing our osmium more directly? So how can we get osmium dust? Can we now get it out of a Mekanism crusher? Yeah, we can. Oh, we can't. Looks like we need the enrichment chamber to make osmium dust. Okay, easy enough. And that we make with a steel casing, and that's now made with elite techium. Oh, this is going to get really frustrating really quickly. Elite techium continues to be a very expensive recipe for us with many, many, many steps. All right, and there we go at long last. I will admit that this pack is now starting to suffer from one of the big flaws I had with the last pack, and that is just inescapably annoying grind. Just having to spend so much time making intermediate things and just waiting for ingredients, which, again, I do not find fun in a pack. I like to be crafting, because that's in the name. It's not mine weight. Anyway, point being, we now have our elite techium ingots, and that means we can start on our machines. So let's add our Metallurgic Infuser to our shopping list. We're going to make the steel casing along the way for that. We're going to add our crusher to the shopping list, and let's see, what else do we need here? Is the Metallurgic Infuser how we get the enrichment chamber? Let's add the enrichment chamber to our shopping list. So for that, we are going to, I believe, need, yes, 2 steel casings, not 3. It looks like this one doesn't require one. That we should just be able to make, the Metallurgic Infuser. The steel casing, wait, is this just regular stained glass? Just regular glass. Okay, great. So we can make that easily. Let's make another one of those steel casings. Perfect. Just like that. And now we can make our crusher. Well, we'll need to come back to that because we don't have the lava buckets yet. And, oh, we can't make that because we need the circuit from the Metallurgic Infuser. So, okay, easy enough. No problem. Let's set up our Metallurgic Infuser and put our Metallurgic Infuser right here. Let's put a connector on top of it, and I'm really worried this is going to burn, so I'm going to put a relay here to separate these out, and hopefully only that cable will burn instead if it does burn. No? No burn? Nothing burning? And it is getting power. Okay, great. That is what we like to see. Now we should be able to make the control circuit that we need for our enrichment chamber. That means we need osmium and redstone. Okay, let's go grab up a bunch more pieces of our osmium. We'll go ahead and grab all 4. Let's put those in here, and then let's grab up our pieces of redstone. And we're just going to use individual pieces of redstone for now. Don't know what the ratio is in here. Apparently it's higher than I recall. I guess it's 2 to 1, so we're going to need 4 more pieces. I thought we could get away with just having it be 1 to 1, but it doesn't look like that's the case. Alright, so there's our control circuit. I'm going to need 1 more of those before we can continue. Thank you very much. And that should give us what we need for our enrichment chamber. Perfect. Okay, now we have that as well. So that should have completed all of these tasks. Great. And the only thing left here we'll need to make is our infused alloy. And it looks like that needs infused crystalline, which we make with crystalline dust, emeralds, and diamonds. That's kind of a terrible recipe, I will be frank. I'm not in love with that recipe as a modification, but we'll go ahead and grab these up, and I think we have some crystalline that we can use, and we will just dump these into our induction smelter, and hopefully in a few seconds we will have the first piece of that. Alright, so there is our infused crystalline. That plus some redstone. Let's grab up a bunch of redstone, and we will dump that into our Metallurgic Infuser. I'm guessing this is still 2 to 1, right? Let's find out real quick. Oh, it's 1 to 1. Okay, that's fine. And we grab that, and that completes that quest. Okay. So now we can use that to make our advanced control circuits. We can then take those, wrap them in our infused alloy, and that gives us advanced control circuits. Good enough. Now, it looks like we can also make a reinforced alloy with those, so we're going to need to make even more crystalline. And then we need an osmium compressor so that we can go ahead and make our atomic alloy with refined obsidian, which is made with refined obsidian dust and osmium. Refined obsidian dust we get from a what? Obsidian dust, which we get from an enrichment chamber. Okay, so we need to go ahead and set up the rest of our machines, I think is what we are learning here. So let me put these down here, and this is just going to start being our mechanism row. Basically, that's what's going to go here. Okay, no fires so far, so good. So I'm going to keep making up a bunch more of our various ingredients that we need here in the Metallurgic Infuser. Let me just take, I don't know, a stack here and give myself 16 of these, I guess. And then I'm going to make a bunch more crystalline, and we can use that as well. So while these ingredients are starting to be put together, the good news is our installers for turning these into factories is still really cheap. So I'm going to go ahead and use all of these circuits that we've already made to go ahead and upgrade these right away. There's no reason to wait. And now we can do multiple ingredients at once. We don't have to sit around and wait for that to finish. So this has a bunch of redstone already in it. It's going to crank through that. I might go ahead and put a bunch more in it that we will probably use immediately. So that goes in that slot. And this will start giving us all of our alloys in one place. That's a much more efficient way to do this. All right, let's carry on with our quest. We're going to go ahead and make ourselves our osmium compressor. And for that, we do need to make ourselves one more steel casing. Do that just like this using our advanced control circuits that we made with our infused alloy and our basic circuits. So we grab that and we stick that right here next to the other machines. We wire that up just like we did all of the other machines here with our cables. And cabling is starting to worry me, I have to admit. I think we need to start thinking about unlocking some way of moving power around. I think we do get to power in the next set of quests here, but I might want to do flux networks before that. Yeah, Power is up next, so we might do a divergence here between episodes. Okay, so that gives us the osmium compressor. Now we need to stop for a second and make our reinforced alloy. So I'm going to need a couple of pieces of infused alloy and some diamonds. You can use diamond dust, you can use the compressed diamond, but I have plenty of diamond for once, which is astonishing. And we're just going to dump that straight into our infusion factory. Oh, will it not let me? Oh, I bet you it's going to say I have to do something with it. Yeah, it looks like you have to convert it into dust to be able to use it. And diamond dust we can get out of a crusher or a pulverizer. So we have a crushing factory. We may as well use it. Let's go ahead and put our diamonds in here. Now, honestly, no, let's not do that. You know why? Because putting it in the enrichment factory is going to give us, I think it's like a 10-to-1 ratio here. And that's a much better deal for us. So let's go ahead and grab that instead. There we go. Enriched diamond. Wonderful. We'll put that in here, and that gives us, 80. So it's 8-to-1. And with that, we can then put our infused alloy in here, and that should convert down. I don't know what the ratio is going to be here, though. So let's go ahead and throw the rest of these in our enriching factory. And that's the other thing. You can do these in parallel. So nice. 20-to-1. So I think this is exactly the right amount of diamond. And we're just going to do all 4 of these real quick. And while we're at it, I know we're going to be using a bunch more redstone dust. So let's go ahead and enrich some redstone as well here. Okay, great. There is our reinforced alloy. That completes that task. Now we have to do is make our refined obsidian. And refined obsidian is going to be used to make our atomic alloy. So we only need 1 of those to complete this quest. So we only need 1 refined obsidian ingot. So as we learned before, we can make this in a metallurgic infuser out of obsidian dust. So we just need our 1 piece of obsidian. I thought we had some obsidian laying around here. Yeah, we have 2 pieces. So let's go ahead and, what did we say? Crush that? Enrich that, maybe? I think enriching. Let's see what happens. Great, that did indeed give us our obsidian dust. We can then use that obsidian dust to make our refined obsidian dust, and for that we're going to need our diamond dust again. So let's put in 1 piece of diamond dust and drop all of our obsidian dust. And again, we're just going to spread this out so it goes quicker. Now, is this 1-to-1 or is this 2-to-1? Let's find out. If that drops to 50, we'll know. Yep, so it's 1-to-1. That's great. That gets all of our refined obsidian. And this then, to make our ingot, we need to put into our osmium compressor with our osmium. So here's our osmium compressor. Let's put 1 piece of that in there, and that should be, I think, 1-to-1 here. Or maybe more. Let's go ahead and put a bunch in just to be safe. Yeah, I think it's 1-to-1 in here. And there's our osmium ingots. Great. It used to be you could make the absolute best armor with this refined obsidian, but I don't see the armor recipes in here. That's too bad. Okay, great. And then the last thing, we'll just need to use that obsidian dust to make our atomic alloy. And can I make that? Oh, you need refined obsidian dust. So maybe I'll crunch that back down. Let's see here. We've got a bunch here. I'm only going to make 1 of these, right? I'm just going to put that in there. And then the rest of these I'm going to go ahead and use in my enriching factory to make the enrichment for that. And that we're going to end up using to make that last ingredient. So grab those up. There we go. And put that back into our infusing factory. And then I'm infusing my reinforced alloy that we've just made from the diamond with our refined obsidian. Now, usually this is a multiple tier process that takes much, much longer in Mekanism, and you slowly build your way up through these ranks. But we're just kind of doing it really quickly to get to our atomic alloy and complete the chapter. Let's grab up our second piece there. And how are we doing on quests? Oh, great. We completed that as well. And that wraps up this entire section. So thanks again for watching Enterprise Architecture, and we'll see you back here then. Bye, friends.